Hello, everyone, and welcome to another exciting episode of Honor Business World here and the Honor TV Global. Here we discuss business from the perspective of scriptures, anchored by God's servant Dr. Maxwell Golden Abe. We share the largesse of what we have learned from his teaching and his lifestyle, how business people, entrepreneurs, or people who own enterprise can actually run their business and do it successfully. Today, I'm not alone on this episode. I have two esteemed sons of God's servant Dr. Maxwell Golden Abe and this house, Honor World International, as they share their journey towards enterprise, how they started business, how business is, and what it means to be a business person as a believer. How do you plan your board meetings? How do you plan your proposals? How do you change the trajectory of your business, having heard scriptures, having read scriptures, and having been taught by a profound man of God as Dr. Maxwell Golden Abe? In these trying times, when people say that the economy is harsh, things are tough, how do believers navigate through business decisions to flourish, as we have seen in scriptures? Remember, scripture says, when men say there's a casting down, for we there is a lifting up. All of this we will discuss when we come back. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back. This again is Honor Business World, and I have the privilege of hosting in this episode two esteemed sons of this house, and we are going to be having this discussion and the conversations around business in this episode. Ladies and gentlemen, we have today in the episode esteemed engineer Blessing Waje. Great to have you, sir. Good.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much, sir. Now we have another remarkable son of this house, the distinguished Isaac Omomudia. Great to have you, sir. Great to be here in the Honor Business World.
Thank you.
Thank you for honoring our invitation out of your very busy and tight schedule. The same goes to Engineer Blessing. Now, I will start with Engineer Blessing. We hear people say a lot about business. Business, in layman's definition, is the act of buying and selling. Some people are business persons but consider themselves as entrepreneurs. There are some that are entrepreneurs that do not like to associate themselves with that title businessman because they know that business is about buying and selling, but enterprise or being an entrepreneur is about bringing out solutions to solve a problem that now becomes a business. So your solution becomes a business for other people. But then we are curious to know, do you consider yourself to be an entrepreneur or a businessman?
Well, first of all, I will need to tell you what business means
Yes.
in the Christian world. For me, business is a major platform to create value, impact our generation,
Yes.
and render services to human, in return glorifying the name of God.
Yes.
That is what business is.
Yes.
So when you put yourself in this shoe, it's self-explanatory. You will know whether you are an entrepreneur or a businessman. For me, I would align myself as a businessman in a Christian world. That is me. Because that's how I portray my business. Because should not be all about profit. Rather, business should be all about purpose.
That's strong.
What you're doing to serve humanity. When doing business, you have to remove the profit aspect of it. Focus on solving problems. Focus on impaction you're doing to people around you, to humanity. And you must center your business around glorifying the name of God as Christians.
Yes.
So for me, I will tell you I'm a businessman in a Christian world.
Wow,
Thank you.
that's very profound, and more important to this is because God's servant had taught us that as a business person, be a person of integrity, focus on the future of the business and the assignment you have been given in that business and not profits. A lot of people, yes, in the business school, they would say business is about profits. And so they turn your attention from the purpose, like you have highlighted. And also, as God's servant has also taught us, we must make sure that we are in business because we are men of purpose, because God created us to fulfill purpose on the earth. And it won't make sense if you are making profits but not fulfilling purpose, the purpose of your business. And because your brand should be all around your purpose, and that's what we have been taught by God's servant. So thank you for making us know that as Christian business persons, in as much as profit is good, but we must also be focused on the purpose behind that business, because you are the visionary. And so even entrepreneurs will say the vision of the company is more important than the profits that they get. So thank you so much, sir, for those thoughts. So I would like to hear the thoughts of the esteemed Isaac Omon Media on this same theme.
Well, my take on it is simple. You see, entrepreneur is swallowed by that word business. If you read the Bible very much, we see that Jesus said, I am here to do my Father's business.
Yes.
And in the business he was doing, Peter was a fisherman. That is an entrepreneur. It swallowed him. It swallowed both the fishing as an entrepreneur, including all those that were making baskets and all those things.
Yes.
What I'm trying to portray here now is that word business is a big word. But my training, I'm a business administrator. And when you say you are a businessman, it is even more comfortable than saying that you are an entrepreneur. Because an entrepreneur is being coordinated by a businessman.
Yes.
Now, in going forward, you will see the purpose of every businessman is to make money. And the force that drives him to think that he wants to make money is the purpose.
Yes.
That is to say, the fundamental reason why you want to be business is the purpose, not the money. But because of human factor, we portray the monetary aspect more than the purpose. We choose to make the purpose slippery and exalt the money aspect of the business. That is why people feel that we are into business for profit reasons. Let me elaborate on it. If you are doing a business and you think that the profit is the reason that is driving you, now when you make the profit as money, there's exactly what you want to use the profit to do. Because one, you cannot keep the money and put it in the pot to cook and eat it. There are things you would want to do with that money that comes as a profit of that business.
Yes.
That is one major part of the purpose that is driving you to do the business. But when we discuss the business, so many businessmen will begin to discuss the profitability of the business they are doing, failing to realize that there is a purpose that is driving the profit of the business.
Yes. Thank you so much. I think what we have been able to come as an affirmative conclusion is that business drives entrepreneurship. And if you must continue, or if you must make your business or enterprise sustainable, then you must focus on the purpose. Even the profits you make in business is to drive the purpose of the business, not necessarily for luxury or for consumption. And this is very important, especially for Christian business persons, or people who are Christians, believers, and want to do so great in business. We must understand these basic tenets. Now, again, I'll go to Engineer Blessing, and someone will say, like there's a popular saying, and I want us to see how we could dissect this and make it easy for people. People may say that they have ideas, but they don't have capital to drive the ideas. And many people procrastinate in action because they feel that you need money to start. And God's servant has always told us, you do not need money to start. You must first of all have the will to start, the vision itself. And when you step out, God steps out, just like a tortoise. Until the tortoise brings out his head, it can't move ahead. But when he keeps his head in the shop, he's stagnant. And many people have been stagnant because they've had this fear, one, to start, and two, they have this excuse that there's no capital to start. How do we address this issue?
Okay, first thing first. For you to start a business, one, you need a mentor. A reliable mentor that will mentor you, give you certain directions which you follow.
Yes.
We have mentors like our father here, Dr. Master Godin Egbe, who is, in his teachings, always tells us for you to succeed in life, you need somebody over your head, somebody that is advising you both spiritually and physically, somebody that is praying over you. And secondly, when starting a business, you need integrity and you need character. Character is what will keep you in business.
Yes.
Character is what will bring investors to you.
Yes.
You have the idea, you have the vision. Then when you add character to it, those resources, those funds you need to start up that business will come in effortlessly. So, in order to start a business, when you don't have the required finance, one, you need a mentor.
Yes.
A mentor that will guide and direct you. Two, you need character, because character in business is the bedrock of everything. A man without character cannot flourish in business. Yes, you can't flourish, you can't do well in business. Because when you have character, there are some tricks. There are so many people, there are so many investors that has money in your society, in the church, in the secular world. They have money, but they are looking for people to invest in.
Yes, exactly.
It is actually your character that will make them pick you out. Wow, this guy has a good character. This guy has integrity. Let me work with him. Let me know his business ideas. Let me invest in him. So these are the two most important things you need when starting a business. Forget about finance. Forget about the funding. But you need a mentor and you need to be charactered when starting a business. With these two, funding of your business will come effortlessly. Thank you.
Yes, I totally agree with you, because even God Servant has taught us, and he had portrayed this in one of his teachings. I remember he said, do you really understand what it takes to start a business before you even talk about capital? And he also spoke about mentorship, and that's very, very profound. You don't just jump into a business. Who is mentoring you? Who are you taking counsel from? Who do you have, not necessarily as a sponsor? Because we have also been taught that mentorship is not sponsorship. Many people rely on mentors to sponsor their business idea, and when they are not doing that, they feel that it's a bad mentor, a wrong mentor. So he also taught us that people are not interested in investing in your idea. They are as much as interested in investing in yourself, your life, and even in the idea itself, because you are the one that drives the idea. The idea does not drive itself. And if you lack the character that's needed to drive the business or to scale the business, then there's no point investing in the idea in the first place. So I that's why I say I concur with you. And God's servant really has also dealt with that. Now, I also want to hear from the esteemed Isaac Omomedia on his thoughts. Many believers, even those who are fathers, those who are youths, those who are women, have complained that the reason why they have not done this business or started this business is because there's no money. Engineer Blessing had helped us lay a foundation that first, you need mentorship, and second, you need character and integrity to start.
Those things that my brother Engineer Blessing mentioned are important ingredients in business. But your question is that how do you start a business without money? And in my take on that is, you see, every human being you see on earth has his own background. My background might not be Blessing's background.
Yes.
His background might not be my background. He might come from a very rich background. The name that he can take to anywhere that he can convert to currency. The name that he can take to anywhere that has a good character that he can convert to anything he wants to convert it to. Maybe I don't have that kind of background. So if I want to start the same kind of business with Blessing, mine will be more difficult than his own. Now, what it takes, what starting a business is all about is this. When you want to define the business world, first of all, look at your standard in the spirituality. It is heavily, very, very essential.
Yes.
When you say you don't need money, you might be right in one perspective, but on the other side, you might not equally still be right. If you say you don't need, how is your spiritual life? Because I can tell you for free that whatever it is built on top of spirituality, it is solid.
Yes.
You cannot build something upon nothing. As I am today, I can't tell you that I am looking for something in Asaba today, and I want to compare my level of finding the thing with Bishop Master Godin Egbe. Even if you do not have that open relationship with people, it has the spiritual connection to drag the relationship to himself. That equally is applicable in every business world.
Yes.
Now, if you don't have that force, you need money. If your spiritual life is not as high as some other person, you need currency. It is the currency that will bridge the gap of that spirituality for you before you grow into that spirit level where the business will be sustained. Therefore, for everyone who seeks to be a businessman that does not have money, must replace that currency with spirituality.
Yes.
And have a spiritual guide, a spiritual head that will give him directive. Because when we look at the world today, so many of us only see the physical aspect of it. But when you compare everything you do in life with your spiritual life, you go a very long way. Some of us, especially me, before now, every of my question as it relates to business are carnal answers. I will give you carnal answers because I have done so many businesses. I have done rubber business, timber business. I've imported this. I've done this. I've done that. So I will tell you that I know some good secrets about physical business. But no successful businessman that is not a spiritual man. If you are not in the secret court, you are in the secret place. And for you to start effortlessly, you must, as a Christian, you must be in the secret place.
Yes.
And it is that secret place that will lift you to the financial place. And the financial place plus the secret place that throw you up to the financial place that will throw your business up to the global standard. So, to me, starting a business without money, it is possible. But that can only happen when your spiritual life is very strong. For those who their spiritual life is not too strong, if you are a businessman, you can help the person to start, build the business. As you are building the business, you are building his spiritual life.
That's very powerful. Now, what you have just said is also very key. And as a matter of fact, it is one of the most important resource every believer must have who is a business person or intending businessman or entrepreneur. And this is why it is, because God's servant has also taught us. He said you want to start a business, but is God leading you into that business? So before you even ask for capital, have you asked if it's God's will for your life? So not because people are doing podcast, you want to do podcast. Not because people are going into importation, you want to go into importation. But are you ordained for that? And that's very important because God's servant will always stress, is God leading you part-time? And he used himself as a case study. That when he hears God, he acts immediately, even if he has gone far. If God says turn back, he turns back, irrespective of how much resource has been committed to it. So, in summary, to start a business as a believer, the three things we have highlighted from this episode is number one, spirituality. You must be spiritually sensitive. And in the words of the extinct Isaac Omomedia, he said, if you are not in the secret court, you must be in the secret place. There's something spiritual about business if you must get it right. And as believers, the secret place is the safest place to even get the direction, the resource, and then templates on how to run that business, who to employ in that business. So this is very remarkable. So we'll get into more of this when we come back from the break. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back. If you're just joining, this is Honor Business World. Here we're talking everything about business, and we have established what does it mean to be a business person, and also as a business person, this question people ask, I have not started because there is no capital. Is it a correct statement or a question, or is there more to it? And yes, we have established that you do not need capital to start a business. The first thing before money comes into play to start a business is one, the spiritual foundation, which is, did God lead you into the business? Was it a business that has God's backing to it? And like the very esteemed Isaac Omomedia said, you are either in the secret court or you are in the secret place. And the safest place to be as a businessman, we recommend to everyone listening, is the secret place, because there ideas flow, directions flow, instructions flow, what to do, how to do it, who to meet, who to do it with, and where to start it, because these are very important things that we must put into consideration before we even talk about money. When should you start? Who should you start with what should you start, how should you start, and where should you start? And this comes from the altar of prayer, the secret place, the spiritual foundation that backs your spiritual journey or your business journey as a young man or as a man or woman who is in business. And then secondly, as also highlighted by the very esteemed engineer Blessing, he said, one, you must have character, because to sustain your business, it needs character. You know, God's servant has also taught about that, because we have also established in this episode that business angels or investors or VC companies don't necessarily invest in the business. They look at the person behind the business or idea. And if they see that it's someone who has an understanding, who is disciplined, who has integrity, there they will now bring in the money. So instead of just sitting back and say there's no capital so you can't start, it's best you start with this and then end with money, because if you have God's direction, he'll tell you what to do and how to do it. I'll give an example which also puts into perspective what we have talked about, especially with the esteemed Mr. Isaac Omomodia about the spirituality. I had a cousin who had this idea to start something like Uber in the country. And so he was like, how do I do it? What do I do? And he met a friend gave him an estimate of over 100 million that he has to look for. He get new cars, or even if it's second-hand cars, do stations and all that. It was so outrageous that he became discouraged, sort of, on how to do it. And then he discussed with us. God 7 had just taught about that in one of our business services. And I told him, have you prayed about it? He said, okay, he has not put it into that thought. He has not actually seeked God's face about the idea. Now, he went into prayers. According to him, he said he had a 2 days fast because he couldn't do 3 days. So he, in the place of prayer, it didn't come like a vivid voice at the back of his ears, but he said he was praying and dozed off. And while he dozed off, it was like he saw a building that he has always been passing, and a man called Adeshina now told him that, yeah, I'm going to help you, but I don't think you should do it this way, do it this way. And he woke up. When he woke up, he was confused. And then he said he would take a bold step. He went to that company he was passing. This was about past 4. And then asked the security man at the gate, when they asked him, who are you looking for? He said, looking for Mr. Additional. He said, oh, Oga. Oga went out, but he will soon come in if you just wait. You should go inside the reception. So he went to the reception. They asked him who he was looking for. Cut the long story short, he said, Mr. Additional. Mr. Additional walks in and looked at him and said, I've seen you somewhere. And then he smiled. He smiled because he knew it was a confirmation that God had heard his prayer. So even though he didn't hear God's voice, but he had God's direction. So he got into Mr. Additional's office, and guess what happened? He told Mr. Additional he's confused about an idea he has. And Mr. Additional asked him, is it about transit? Something about Uber kind of. He said, yes. He said, wow. He said, did God send you? So they just laughed, exchanged numbers, and this is what Mr. Additional did. He said, well, that he had an instruction to go into this transit thing, this kind of Uber thing. But then he was asking God for direction, and God said, I will send a man. And he also had a trance and saw this, my cousin, in that trance. And so that was how he started. So I now asked someone who was having these arguments that you need money, money is important. I said, did he need money now to start that business? He only need the secret place. He needed the secret place as you appointed. And then also, at the process of that, because it doesn't stop there too, you also have to work on your character, as he said. Because when people, even though they had God to help you or to start something with you, they need to be totally comfortable with the idea that you are the trusted partner for that business, or you are the trusted idea to fund that business. And this is where many believers also miss it, because then we allow the devil deceive us. Our weaknesses begin to emerge. We begin to see figures, want to falsify figures, want to, imagine if you invest in